Okay, who is who? Hi, Craig. It's so weird.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I'm thinking I'll just let this run. I'll just probably cut out whatever little pieces I can think
Okay.
is in or not in. But
Yeah.
yeah. But overall, yeah, the idea of convenies is
Mhm.
the idea for the podcast. For now,
Mhm.
at least this might be like the first episode,
Yeah.
and just to kind of like ask yourself, like, what is special about convenies in
Mm.
Japan?
What is special?
Yeah, what would you say is special about the convenience in Japan compared to other countries, which you have traveled a lot, right? I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I mean, like, I think I really enjoy like the fact that they are like truly 100% like 24/7. Like I'll go walking out like New Year's or something or like Christmas, like any holiday, like it doesn't matter. And it's like dark, pitch black outside because all the businesses are closed, all like the shops that are usually open, the pharmacies, everything closed. But then you see that sign glowing and it's just like the Lawson sign or something like that. And that poor worker has to like be there for like the holidays.
You know
But
what that
that's
remind me of only like clips where people be like, I'm so tired of walking around Japan and they hear Don Quixote song playing in the
oh
background.
yeah, yeah. It just calls to you, you know,
Yeah.
the lit up sign.
Right. Well, I will honestly say that with at least being next to Lawson for like 2 years, I really
Mm.
appreciated the fact that I could just go there anytime, and it always had like that one sleepy worker just be like, yeah, yeah, go ahead. But it's interesting that it's always get really good service even late at night from a
Oh,
conveni.
for
Not
sure.
like when you go to like another place, another country, and they look like they're kind of frustrated for being working like
Mm.
12 hours for the day and they don't even want to talk to you. They still get like the best service you can get in a conveni.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the one that's near me at least too. Like I don't recognize the same people all the time. I don't know if they just go through a lot of people or like there's just so many staff members and I don't go habitually or anything like the same day, same times kind of thing.
Mhm.
But like there's like a lot of even young people and the young people are quiet. I mean, they're quiet, but you know, they're always polite. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
enjoy that. I've never had to ask anyone for anything or whatever, but like they're always, just there and helping out. So,
Mhm. So if you had to choose what if you had to choose the best conveni or convenience store in Japan, which one would you consider the best?
man,
I'm
now
sorry.
like,
I'm such a Lawson fan. I'm a number one Lawson fan.
were
So
you always a Lawson? Was
well,
Lawson next to the one where you used to live too?
yes, yes,
Okay.
that was the one that was next to me. And even
Okay.
though I moved and there's a mini stop next to me, and I love the so-called cranky chicken, I still prefer Lawson for yeah, the cranky chicken because not crunchy, it's cranky.
Mhm.
Um, I still prefer Lawson in the sense of I think I still have like the JCB card and also trying to pay certain things or even doing like mailing stuff and whatnot. Their services is a lot easier and a lot quicker to do with them than with other companies, in my opinion.
Mm. Like I mean, before I would have always agreed with you. I would have agreed with you as well, just because like I live next to a Lawson. That's like all that I had around where I used to live. But now, I don't know. I think like I really appreciate being like near a 7-Eleven now, just
Mm,
because I feel like it's everywhere. It's near my office here. It's near my house here. It's near the station. Like when I have to go by over, like go and take the train. But um I don't know, like it's such a like a big variety and like I never see like a huge Lawson or I never see like a
mm.
huge Family Mart. I always see like a huge 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm.
Mm.
So I think like for that it's like I feel like there's just so much more variety.
So,
But yeah.
so it's is it a sense that the only reason why you prefer 7-Eleven because it's closer, or is it because it is better?
I think it just has they're honestly, they're all the same.
I know, right? I know. No,
Like, let's be real, they're all the
no,
same.
no. I have a controversial question after this. Was the fact of what makes each company different? To me,
Mm,
even though they may all seem the same, each one
mhm,
always have something that that the other companies does not have.
mm,
For instance, mini stop have cranky chicken. You cannot
yeah,
get cranky chicken in another company. That's a
mm,
mini stop special. That, and I think that the puddings and the ice cream, that is
mm,
something that they make specially themselves. That's not
mm.
a combini thing. So, in the sense of where if you think all of them is the same, what is the difference between the difference among the combini franchise?
Man, the thing, like, I haven't been able to, like, go into other ones enough, like, recently to, like, really
Oh, I
notice
mean, like
any of
recently,
them.
I like you in Japan this long and you haven't gone to enough
Yeah,
communities.
I'm just not, I'm not exploring, like, all the different convenies that much anymore, but, because I know, like, there was always the typical people would compare like oh like or I don't know there's like a consensus basically that this is the combini with the best bread, this is the
Mm-hmm.
combini with the best desserts, this is the
Mm-hmm.
combini with the best coffee, and like people will compare like in that sense, so there isn't one combini that is the best. It's just like they specialize in a particular field, and oh, like if I want this then I go to this combini. So
Mm. So
I think
which so which
hmm.
company would you go for coffee?
Man, I think coffee would be Family Mart.
Mm, Family Mart, right?
Yeah, like but I don't, the thing is I just don't drink a lot of
Yeah,
coffee from the combini in general. Like I always just buy like the prepackaged ones that like get sold like all over nationwide. But
my
like I
God.
feel like if if I remember correctly, like Family Mart was like the ones that would have like different flavors of coffees.
Like you mean
Like
like the cafe latte and all those
yeah.
different
Like
and
they'll have
mocha
like
and stuff.
specialty coffees or something. Like they'll
Mm.
come out with like a mocha and like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so they'll have like a white mocha or
Ah,
something. Like they'll be able to do that, which is like more fun than having
right.
beans are beans. Like I like whatever, like any kind of type of coffee. But
Like I tell people, coffee is just dirty water. So if
yeah,
you like dirty
it's
water, you
dirty
should be
bean
fine.
water.
Yeah,
So
dirty bean water. Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just thought it interesting because
Mhm.
I've recently when I've eaten a bread, a type of bread, like a cheese bread from 7-Eleven. I thought it
Mm.
tastes a lot better, a lot fresher than other convenies. So I
Mm.
rather go there for like breakfast, but then I will go to Lawson to like there's like certain like their karaage chicken is
Mm.
really good. I find kind of like the spice one is not that oily. And then I realizing that every time I go to a different company, I'm like, there's something I actually like from each one. But
Yeah.
then what I've also realized too after doing a couple road trips is that it's hard to kind of pinpoint one specific one because some companies are very dirty. Then I've also learned that not all companies have the same inventory. So even though I might go to a Lawson in Tokyo, the Lawson in Osaka may not have like the same kind of snacks or the same variety.
True.
So it's very interesting that now it has become this thing where the location matters for which combini is best. It's not just
Yeah.
overall which combini is best. So if you go to like where we was living before in Imabari,
Yeah.
to me I think Lawson was the best because the
Mm.
service was top notch. You could have find it anywhere. It was
Mm.
available, and it's only when I moved I realized that there was no mini stop in Imabari.
Mm.
I couldn't see no mini stop. I've never heard about cranky chicken. I had to go to another place to then taste cranky chicken and realize, oh snap, this was really good. So
Mm.
it's very interesting that there is a lot to talk about with conbinis, but I know between me and Jose, we'd always be fighting between who had the best conbini because he was Family Mart and I was Lawson.
Mhm.
So I just kind of just choose a side because I just didn't want to lose. So I
Yeah,
just kind of I just
sounds
try to
about
propose,
right.
right? So I just kind of propose to you like, what would be your favorite company if you had to choose a side? But who would you be fighting for?
do 7-Eleven now. I'm sorry. Like Lawson was it was my baby, but like literally like I don't even remember the last time I've walked into a Lawson recently. So for me it's just you know what, 7-Eleven's not really it's not bad. They got my spicy chips that I like. They got my
Fighting for
chicken.
spicy chips. Oh my God.
Yes, like they got some spicy chips, they got some chicken namba. The issue is like you said, it's like depending on the store, not like the same stores don't have the same thing. Like
Hmm.
I can't find like the chicken namba here, where
Mm.
next to my house, but like the one near my office, like which is huge, like it like has like everything. And so sometimes like I'll crave that thing, I'll go to my 7-Eleven and then it's not there. Um Other than that, oh, I honestly like the fact that they do have the smoothies is like the smartest thing ever. I think that's just
Yeah, and
like,
your smoothie lovers.
yes, oh my gosh. You know, when
Drink,
you're
drink
like,
the dirty bean water. Okay.
nah, I got my smoothies, like, you feel healthy. You went to the combini and you were like, oh, I'm not gonna get like this junky stuff, not real juice or whatever. I'm gonna get a
It's something with a lot of
smoothie.
sugar and a lot of sweetness. Mm-hmm.
Mm, real fruit and vegetables in it and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's legit. I like it, but I do like, I don't know, there's something though, like, why do you think that there aren't so many like mini stops and stuff? Because like I feel like mini stops or like daily Yamazakis are
Mm.
very like you can't find them, but I feel like they end up having like the most interesting like menu, like
I
or taste or
I
something.
I think I this is my speculation. I think they're aiming for a particular market, and I believe that the market that they have better in is in the countrysides. Because I
Mm,
rarely see it in city areas, and when you do see it, it's very small. It's like a little
mm,
corner shop.
very.
Um, but I believe as though they know where they're getting the sales from because as anybody who lives in Japan, you can see how quickly a company is actually open and close within like a year or so. You'll see a place close down, and I think as though for some reason, maybe because of the types of sweets or whatever they're selling, sells
Mm,
better in the countryside. They just kind of just push more there because it's very interesting. I could find at least like maybe 3 or 4 mini stops near here, but I
mm.
can't. I could find like one Lawson. So it's very interesting that it is like a Inaka thing. I don't know if
Mm,
that's true or it's just I haven't been searching well, but I believe it's like I believe some companies are considered like Inaka companies.
mm.
As if I had to kind of guess, I think like the 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 mini stop. I bet 7-Eleven's big. Um, Lawson,
I've
I would say, is more like a Inaka style one in a way. But
Yeah, they've probably like taken over like more of that
yeah,
in terms of like the big ones. I think Family Mart is like quite even everywhere. Like
yeah.
it's not like it's more here and less there kind of thing because like I think 7-Eleven is more I feel more in the city and then you don't really find
Mhm.
it in the Inaka and then you find like more of like the smaller ones like Lawson more in the Inaka but maybe not much in the city. The only thing they have like the Lawson, what is it? Lawson natural Lawsons.
There's a natural Lawson.
Yeah, like I've been in it once before, but like they'll have like more like organic things, like things that are like more healthy. And like some of them even have like cafes attached to them.
Ah,
So I don't know if you've ever like
I
mm,
think, yeah, I think there are like larger version ones, like more
mm,
like a kind of entertainment kind of convenient area. But this
there's
would be like more like in malls, right?
not it's not in a mall, like I've seen it like standing like outside. Like it's almost like partial grocery store kind of thing. Like it wants to like cater towards like your every like thing shop. Like you go to the Korbini and like there for groceries as well, rather than just like those quick like pickups.
Mm. I
But
see,
those are
I see, I
mm,
see one that's called Seiko Mart. Do you know about that one?
I've heard of that before. I'm trying to remember if
I've
I've ever
never heard that before.
Gomart.
Seiko Mart. And then they have the Daily Yamazaki, which I believe is like a more of a Naka style konbini. I have
Ah,
never heard it.
Seiko Mart, I think, is the one. Hot Chef. Yeah, this is the one that's in Hokkaido, I think.
Oh,
Like the main one in Hokkaido, maybe. Oh, but I see like it's in like Saitama and stuff. So it's like in other places, but I think like it's really like popular in Hokkaido.
yeah, I need to really visit there. That's like a whole nother level of holy knuckle.
Oh my gosh, no, you don't even get me started. Like I remember, man, when I went up to Hokkaido, like I was in the Inaka and like what was it? There weren't konbinis. Like you couldn't just walk to the corner and there was a konbini. You had to drive there. And like not all of them were open 24 hours. So like you had to like maybe there was one in the entire town that was open 24 hours, but like just the one. That was it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I couldn't I couldn't do it. I'm too
That-
spoiled
That's
now.
crazy though. I'm sorry. That means you need to like when you go there, you buy for the week and just store it at
Yeah.
home.
I don't know how people can do it. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, even though we lived okay, like when we lived in Imabari and like you still live in Inaka, but like you still have a place to go. Like if you
Yep.
need something, like
Mhm.
you can leave at whatever 10 p.m. You can leave at 1 a.m. Whatever. That place is open. For me, same thing. But like, and that was in Imabari as well. Like I could have gone anywhere and like grab something. But man, I felt like going home, like in the US, like they're starting to lean more towards closing things down and not having them 24 hours anymore,
I
which is
guess.
such a weird thing.
Well, it's understandable where they're trying to push a better, healthier work culture now,
Oh, for
but
sure.
yeah. But it's still kind of suck, you know. Everybody gets so accustomed now. It's like imagine going to a company and they're closed. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
weird feeling.
I know. It's like, wait, that's not convenient
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah,
What is
it's
this?
it's not convenient, okay?
It's not convenient anymore. What is this?
Well,
But
but I
no.
realize it's only like six. Wait, one, two, three, four, five. Is it six? It's only six companies.
Oh, like major like companies.
Yeah,
What is lots
7-Eleven, Mini
ramen?
Stop, Family Mart, Daily Yamazaki,
Mm-hmm.
Lawson, and Seiko Mart.
Seiko Mart.
Were there any that I saw again? That's interesting. I always thought there were more.
That
But
sounds about right though.
yeah.
Mm.
But overall, they have more than 50,000 convenies in Japan. Like, like
Oh, like
convenies, I guess,
stores.
holistically. Yeah, stores.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you have like kombinis. That's another thing. You have kombinis just literally like popping up across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Like
No,
you could walk like literally 100, like I don't know, like 50 to 100 steps, and then there's like another kombini there, and it's
well,
the same
actually,
one.
what I realize is that they don't just put on convenies just for like a location that doesn't have it. They put it based on the side, based on which side of the road cars are moving. And I realized that. So, for instance, because there's a lot of like single lanes
Mhm.
when you're driving in the countryside, they put a company on left side and your right side. Even though it's the same company, they
Mhm.
you don't have to cross lanes to get to the company. You can just stay on your lane and you'll get to one eventually.
Right.
So they really build convenience stores to be in a convenient position for when
Mhm.
you're actually driving by.
No, that makes like 100% sense too, because it's like that they're trying to get you to go there. If you have to like turn left, or sorry, hold on, what side of the road are we
Yeah.
on again? If you have to turn
On the
right.
left side, you gotta turn right. Oh
Whoops.
my
Oh my
god.
God, I'm even getting my license renewed soon too.
Oh my
I haven't
god.
driven in like 2 years,
Oh
or no,
my.
not 2 years, but like a year, yeah. But oh my gosh,
She went
um,
back to America once and she come back and forgot everything.
no, no, no. I didn't even drive when I went home because
Oh
like
my.
I was scared. Like every time like my sister was driving somewhere and she would like turn and I'd be like, "Oh my God." And then I'd freak out a little bit. And then I'm like, "Oh wait, never mind. We're driving on the right side of the road. I forgot." I never even tried. I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry,
What?
my country we're the same, so this doesn't faze me one
Oh
bit.
my
It just
gosh, no. That's like
um
whatever. It's okay.
but yeah, this I just thought it was very interesting. This whole conveni concept, because in my country we don't have convenience stores. We have like we call them
Mm,
small shops or if not parlors, which is just like a mom and pop shop as you might call it, just people who just open up a place. They just ask for
yeah.
whatever snacks they want to sell, whatever product they want to sell from the directly from the manufacturers, and they sell it like under their house or whatever now. And
Like
so
a bodega or like a party store kind of thing.
kind of thing. It's like think of somebody just like open up their garage and say, okay, we're gonna sell stuff here. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
We do have some similar convenience style stores in
Mm,
Trinidad. It follows the same concept as a convenience store. It's just that I've never really stopped to think of it as a convenience store. We just
mm.
call it like the gas station store, or
Oh,
like or just like a side store somewhere. But the places that really do sell like quick small snacks and little things
mm,
like just like what Japan does, we call it like a
mm.
parlor. So
Okay.
it's
So,
very interesting to me when we could go to a place that is like a mini supermarket, because for us, a
mm.
convenience store here is like a mini supermarket. It's just like, oh wow, this is so cool. Like I prefer this over there's somebody house.
Right, true, yeah. Like it feels a little bit more like, oh, like I don't know, commercialized and stuff, a little bit
Yeah.
more like real, I guess.
Yes, yeah. I think most Trinidadians that are in Japan is like convenience stores is like one of our biggest like joy compared to
Hmm.
Trinidad, even though yes, our culture is tied into the way of how things are sold in our country, it
Hmm.
still feels really comfortable now where we don't have to worry about if the snacks are going to be stale or if this
Right.
place is legit or them kind
Mm.
of things. Like from the time you hear Lawson, there's a, a well-known um like company or system there, so you could just like, okay, yeah, if anything happens you can always just go back to them and you can work things out. But
So like
yeah.
something that interests me because like you said like oh like it's kind of like a parlor, like convenience store, but you don't really like it's a gas station store. So like in the US, like where I grew up, any convenience store was always tied to a gas station. So like
Right.
usually they didn't stand alone. They did, like some of them did. But like I in my life, probably I've walked into them 3 or 4 times, I feel like in the
Right.
US. And because you just go to the gas station, you just get gas and then you just like leave. I never, my family never like went inside and like got
Oh
stuff.
really?
Yeah, like
Mm.
I don't know why. Like, I think maybe not that like we felt it was dangerous or anything. I don't think it was that, but like it was the quality wasn't good. We never like, there's
Mm.
always this thought that like, oh, when you get like a hot dog at the convenience store, that hot dog's probably been sitting there like all day rolling
Yeah.
around on like the grill thing or whatever. You don't even know if it's good. But so then you go to Japan. Japan has great convenience stores. Everything's like pretty fresh. Like they're pretty adamant also about like if the food like is past the expiry or like by the sell by date, then they won't sell it to you. Like it won't
Right.
ring up on the thing
Mm-hmm.
anymore. So they'll
Mm-hmm.
take it. But I went home this just a few months ago and I visited my friend in Florida and they had this thing called Wawa. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope, never in my life.
It's a
Wow.
convenience store that's all around like Florida where she lives, and it's like almost every other gas like it's a gas station convenience store, so it's attached to it. And she was saying, "Hey, like we're gonna before we go to Miami, we're gonna stop at Wawa, order what you want." Like basically, they have the system that's very similar to Japan but better. Like
Mm.
it's a convenience store with a gas station, but they use like applications so you can pre-order your food in advance. With the app, you just like walk in and then you like, say you're there and then they make it for you and then you pay for it. But it's the
Okay.
same thing where they have like snacks, pizzas, like they have but then they had like breakfast sandwiches. Then they had all
Mm.
these drinks that were not just smoothies, but like they were like caffeine drinks, non-caffeine drinks, and then
Mm.
you get your regular fountain drinks on top of like all like the other drinks that you could get. It was
Okay.
wonderful. Like I was kind of like, man, I wish we had this in Japan. I want to go to my Family Mart and have a breakfast sandwich, like a fresh like made breakfast sandwich, or a pizza. I want to buy like get a fresh pizza from
Yeah, but
like
to me that sounds more like a food, almost borderline in like a food court slash supermarket. Convenience stores, which in Japan is kind of trying to limit themselves from having that additional expansion where it's just basic things that you kind of need. So that's how I thought about it. But
Mhm.
once you start to cross the border of kind of expanding to larger dishes like pizzas and subs and stuff like that, it kind of makes you wonder if it's that is really considered a convenience store or a supermarket. Because then, what is the definition between the two?
Well, a supermarket, I feel like, well, the only thing that makes it a supermarket is if you sell fresh produce.
And Wawa sells fresh produce or no?
I don't think they did, unless it was like those like, like quick snack like bananas or like apples and stuff. But I don't think they weren't like a convenience store where it's like, oh, around the block, like I need to pick up lettuce or like onions or something, so I'm gonna go to Wawa. It
Mm.
like in the US, it's more people are driving longer distances and they're driving for a longer time. So it makes sense to get like food that you would eat like immediately, not nothing that you had to prepare, basically. And I think like that's
Mm.
kind of what a convenience store is. It's like you to go in someplace, you don't have to prepare anything, you take it and then you leave. Versus a
Mm.
supermarket is someplace where you have to prepare things.
See that I think that line is becoming blurred now,
I
because
yeah, I agree. Because now
yeah,
convenience stores, like I go to my Lawson and they
yeah,
have carrots and stuff. They have stuff to
yeah,
make curry, like curry sets,
yes.
basically.
No, because like I think even the convenience, I think I remember Lawson had like the kettles there where you can actually get like your
Mm,
cup ramen. You can put like I think you can get
right.
things cooked fresh there on the spot. I think the ones that are actually like the truck stops when you're coming up the highway, they have like an expansion for like a food court next to the convenience and them kind of thing.
Oh,
So
those are the service areas, right?
yeah, but
Mhm.
it's like more than just a service area now. So I don't
Mm.
know. Convenience stores has now become more than just quick things to pick up and go. You can literally chill in a family mat and sit on it. You remember when they actually had like the little counter space and you have like the chairs you could sit on there and charge your
Mhm.
phone and have a little whatever
Oh,
like
yeah.
pan or whatnot. So I don't know. Like now thinking about it now, it's like a convenience store is considered supermarket now. It's just that they're just convenience, so you could just label themselves as that.
I think that's kind of where the fresh Lawson or natural Lawsons come in then. They have to like rebrand themselves into something else, not just like a convenience store because of like what they're selling.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah.
Well, in my country, if you check out, well, you can check out this picture I put up here. But this
Mm.
is how, when I was younger, it used to be like a small little hut. Because
Oh my God, I
in
love
yeah,
it.
in our area, depending on where you're living, like if you're living in countryside, they won't really build like a full supermarket there. I think the government never really expanded in certain areas in China and whatnot. So what happens, people in the community would then take the responsibility of like trying to sell stuff there. And what in most cases they will do is contact like the manufacturers or the producers. So they'll contact like the people who sell the bread or whatnot directly, and they will actually have their trucks come and deliver their goods to these little huts that people
Mhm.
build right in front of their houses. So as a
Mhm.
child or as a person, you just walk in there, oh hey tans, hey moms, whatnot, and you just pick up whatever basic necessities you can get there. You might even get like soap or shampoo, whatnot, but it'll be easier to get it there than trying to get into the city to try to buy those stuff and come back now. So we call
Right.
those little huts parlors. Some people call it
Parlors.
like stores, whatnot, but back then it was a parlor. So,
Mhm.
but when you say parlor in another country, people think like beauty parlor, like fancy parlor, whatnot. No, this is what we used to say back when I was a kid. I think over time, people start to improve on their buildings more. They look more, a little more store-like, but it's not as fancy as how America or how Japan would have it. It's only, I think, maybe 10 years ago, they started to bring another company called Unipet, which is a gas station company.
Mm-hmm.
And they started to do like the almost like a convenience store style store.
Oh,
There were ones before from NP, from the gas company NP, where they have like the little stores next to the gas station, and then Unipet came and take over, and eventually we started to get combini style like stores kind of way.
right.
But yeah, but parlors was like this. This what the parlor was. The people who selling the Coke, the Pepsi, and the Carib and all these things. They will
Mm-hmm.
actually get the posters from the companies that deliver the stuff to them, and they stick it outside their house and those kind of little things. So coming from this and to be in Japan or be in America is like such a relief from this old school style because those little stores where they were trying to hold on to their stuff for a long time to kind of trying to sell out everything. So there are some times where they might either be stale, spoil, yeah, in cases where you're not really too sure if the pack was burst when they got it or whatnot, and you only find out until you actually buy it little things like that. So it
Yeah.
has improved over the years, to be honest. This is me talking from long time ago, but this was my biggest fear every time I go to like a parlor, and I really hated it. And I
I
was telling
feel like
myself,
you have the experience too.
yeah, girl, I eat some bad like chocolate cookies and vomit for days and
Oh
all these
no.
little things. Yeah. So when I came here and I could walk in and smell fresh, like fresh fried chicken in a convenience store, bro,
Right.
man, I was livid. I was telling myself, yes, finally I could just get fried chicken right next door to my apartment in Lawson. But I
Yeah.
eat fried chicken for like 2 weeks straight from Lawson when I first came to Japan. And that was like
Right.
heaven. Now I'm fed up of it.
Oh my gosh. Like it's funny that so you mentioned something like that, like with your type of traditional, um, like your parlor, like your like convenience store that you have,
Mm,
like your local thing. And I just shared like a picture. I shared a picture of what a Wawa looks like in the inside,
right.
which is
Mm,
very, very nice, almost supermarket looking, honestly, when you look
right.
at that. Because usually convenience store, you think of it like the way that we think like the aisles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But like they try to make it a little bit more of like the more how do you say like the nowadays supermarkets like supermarkets are trying to be like a little bit more trendier, I guess. But
Hmm.
then I also sent you like the picture about like the Japanese like traditional sweets corner stores. Like they have
Yeah.
them a lot in the malls, but it's
Yes.
like
Mm.
you look at them and I'm like, how do you maintain the
I know,
merchandise
right?
here?
I know,
Like,
right?
it's crazy. And like, what if something expires? You would have no idea because there's like 1,000 different products that you have, like more than that.
But
And then it made me think of New York like news stands and how
hmm
they sell like 1,000 things in that little tiny hut. And
yeah.
then it made me think back of your parlor. And I was like,
Yes,
it
yes.
seems like a cycle.
It's exactly. And I see, I realized because they actually have this Japanese style one in Town. And I
Mm.
realized what they do, they mostly sell preservatives. So I'm guessing that's probably one of the reasons why it lasts longer. Maybe that's why they
Or
keep
the
it there longer.
toys, like,
But
yeah.
it's mostly toys and preservatives. I've never seen them sell anything that is kind of like would expire like within a week or within a month. It's like things that you
Mm.
could probably see will last long. But it's like old school Japanese style stacks. So
Mhm.
uh I like the weird thing I think about these stores is that I don't see much people buying from them.
Oh,
The,
I mean, like,
like I've seen kids go on there and knowing Japan culture, kids don't eat much sweets or snacks. It's very interesting that this store is booming and I've never seen anybody like say, I want to pick up like about, 10 grams of this and 5 grams of this thing. No, like very rare. They will faster go to a convenience and buy a box of like chocolates and share the little tiny chocolates.
Mm.
So also this was very interesting. And for the Wawa, to me that looked like an airport.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, that's what it's meant for, like, people who are commuting, like, in it, like, around, so, I mean,
It looks like the shops in the airport when I walk in and they're like looking for something quick to
Um,
eat before you jump on your next flight. That's what it looks
right,
like to me.
right. I mean, I guess, yeah, technically it serves the same purpose. Like, people are, like, on the go usually when they're getting to a Wawa and stuff. But yeah, when you mention that, like it does bring it up where oh, like it looks familiar like that.
Yeah, this my country's old school shops were like a thing, but
Mhm.
it 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 was really out of convenience. Honestly, I think I'm not no history buff of my country. I really poor at this, but out of what I think is that because of these parlors, that's how the community grew in Trinidad and
Mhm.
Tobago. Because
Mhm.
of course, those companies would like those big companies would actually send their products to like the city area style or places that were more like civilized in that way. But down in the countryside, it's very hard to like buy just basics of bread, butter, cheese, whatnot. These little parlors was very helpful. But as time grew, these parlors has become somewhat of a nuisance to some people. Some people
Mhm.
still appreciate it because it kind of cozy tradition of what Trinidad used to be. Because as you see the picture, they have like coconuts outside. You could get mango.
Mhm.
You get like fresh fruits because if somebody who's selling stuff like this,
Mhm.
they'll have like a tree in their backyard and they'll chop that
Mhm.
down and sell it out in the front.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it just coming from this lifestyle and this background, it's just like Japan. Just the convenience is really in the name
Mhm.
itself, in just the life, the culture, and the buildings and the food. I'm just happy I could just go next door and pick up a sandwich and a onigiri and get myself something quick to drink and leave.
Mhm.
That's not to say that America doesn't have it, but I
Mhm.
feel more comfortable getting from Japan than from in America.
I mean, me too. No, I mean the Wawa, I trust the Wawa. The Wawa was cool. I like that. But yeah, no, I mean, I've always had like that same thing. Coming to Japan is like weird. Like, why do people go to convenience stores? Like, what is it? And then you come and then you're like, wow, it's so nice here. Like, I can get all my stuff here. It's no problem at all. Um, but would you say like in terms of like your parlor, like the now they're like not, as popular anymore, but they were so that people could get things conveniently and they didn't have to go into like the city for it because it was there, it was being sold there. But like in terms like they kind of made the community though. Like would people like chill? Would they meet? Would they like bump
Well,
into each other and stuff at the parlor? Or was it a quick and go kind of thing? Like, oh, I'm here to grab something and
Well,
that's
it varies in different places, but I will say it creates a little spot for community in a way, because those little parts will also sell sometimes like alcohol and whatnot. So of
Mhm.
course you're gonna meet some people by the corner, drinking or smoking, but it in those days, community was very important. So you literally used to know everybody that was in the
Mhm.
area. So once you walk on the road, you know the neighbor, you know the neighbor, you know the person who owned the parlor, you know almost everybody. So when you do come to this place and you meet one of your friends or your family members and whatnot, it it created a sense of like comfort to know that yes, this is the community. And if somebody from outside come in, it would be like, who's this person? I don't know. It could be somebody friend, cousin, this kind of. But yes, parlors were almost like a central point for that sense of camaraderie and community. Um, but everybody have their various reasons. You can just go there quickly, pick up stuff. But yeah, most times you will bounce into somebody that you know from school, from work, from somewhere if they lived in the area.
Mhm.
Because this was the place that everybody will have to go if they need to get stuff. Like unless you were fancy and you had a car and you could drive to the city and back, you'd rather just go like a 5 minutes walk down the road and say, hey, let me just get some bread. And then you turn around, he's like, hey, my school friend, hey, what's up? And then you might be standing there talking for the next hour. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, but yeah, it was a lifestyle. It was a lifestyle of building that community, and it really bring a lot of people together. I don't know what really happened over the years, but I haven't been in Trinidad for what 6 years now.
Mm.
But the time I visited, it's like it was just like I never left. Because when I went back there, the
Mm.
same lady that had the same parlor there remembered me. And even though a new store opened next to her, she is still open, and
Oh my
people still buy
God.
from her. So I
That's good.
guess it's just there still. But we don't promote it the way like how other countries promote a store because it's a community thing. We know the person and they're there. It's not like
Mm,
to say this person needs to be recognized throughout Trinidad and Tobago and their marketing. No, they making enough money to sustain themselves and they are like the one of the pillars of the community kind of thing.
right. They're there. They've been there from the beginning, and then just because something came around, they didn't like give up or whatever. And
Yeah.
who knows? Like maybe they're just chilling. Maybe it's like their hobby kind of thing. They just like
But
to do
actually,
it.
some of them actually, it's like I say, it's in front of their house. They have nowhere to go. They're not like
Ah,
paying, they're not like paying rent for it. And at the end of the
right.
day, I think like the one that is next to my house back in Trinidad, she
Mm,
actually sell the stuff that she grows. So she will sell all the
okay.
seasoning and the vegetables and fruits. And if she run out, she'll say, yeah, not today. Come back next 2 weeks. She will have,
Mm,
and she will sell based on the season too. So we'll get pumpkin some days. We get some shadow benny, which is
mm,
like cilantro.
mm,
Different things. Just before I left, she gave me mango. So it's one of those things where it's a different feeling, it's a different vibe. But
yeah.
it's one of the things I really can't explain, which is something that always bugs me about like things about my country. I can't
Mm,
properly explain why it is the way it is, but it
mhm,
is the way it is. And if the only way you understand is if you experience it. Even when I carried my wife there, I was like, okay, this is how it is. She's like, wow, okay, I don't really know. And then we were there for like a week. No, we were there for 3 months. And the first week she's like, oh, okay, I see. And then she
mhm.
actually walked on the road by herself and went and I was like, don't go on the road by yourself. And she's like, no, everybody was like complimenting her and said, oh, you Chinese. I was like, oh
Oh,
my God.
of course.
So yeah, it was so interesting to see that she was able to kind of fit in and she didn't understand the English in Trinidad and Tobago, but she was able to kind of like still buy stuff.
Your
So
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it
You have like
was
the convenience store culture, just a little bit different. And
yeah.
that's a funny thing because like I don't have that, but I'm like for example, like I would think someone from New York, like D or somebody like they would have
Mm,
that bodega style. They would have that local like that newsstand style and stuff like that. That person that you
mm-hmm.
would go to a lot. And then you have yours for like the parlors, and then there's here in Japan convenience stores. Um, and I'm just like, I don't have that at all because I guess where I lived, everything was way too far. You wouldn't have a local store per se. Like you would have a superstore that you would go to and that you'd have to
Right.
drive to all the time. Like I didn't live in the city, but like that was just, it was normal to drive like 10 to 15 minutes to that place.
Every time I hear Americans say drive, I just don't understand the concept of how Americans
Oh
could drive for like 4 to 6 hours. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
my
that's just a
gosh.
short drive, and I'm just like,
Still be in the same place.
oh
Like,
my God.
Jesus.
He used to kill me, and I was just like, why? Why are you driving this long? The longest we ever drove in Trinidad is like an
Yeah.
hour.
That's
We
the thing
do
is it's
traffic.
just so big and like you don't realize until you go somewhere else. And even Japan honestly is like really like big. And then the thing is I don't know, then people don't realize it when they come here. They're like, "Oh, Japan is so small and stuff." And it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive from Tokyo to Osaka." And I'm like, "You got a day? Like, is that what you're doing?" And they're like, "Oh no, I thought it was closer." And I'm just like, "Yeah, by bullet train. That's what you do." But that's another actually maybe like to like go on like another topic, kind of what you were saying about like somebody who owns a parlor and like it's part of their house, so like they don't even or like it's on their land, so they don't have to worry about like paying for it. But like talking about like snack bars and like local bars and stuff and
Mm,
like places that we used to go to Imabari and just like drop into, and you're like, how does this
yeah,
place still run? But it's because
yeah.
most likely they don't have to pay for like rent anymore. Like they purchased it and then they just like have this business that they just choose when they want to open it. They're like, "Oh, tonight we're not going to be open. Oh, today I'll close early." Like
I know,
whatever.
right? But
Yeah.
I don't have much information on that, but I
Mm.
do. I did talk to a lot of store owners and like
Hmm.
bar owners and stuff. So I could probably like share one or two insights of like what they say. So maybe that
Mm,
could be like another topic. We could probably talk about how these smaller businesses are surviving,
mm,
even though they're not even getting any customers, which I also thought was very funny because we're
yeah.
walking like these random hole in the wall kind of like small bars and they're always empty, but he's there with like this fancy countertop and special drinks, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what?
And they're just
Um,
there sitting there, yeah,
yeah,
waiting for somebody to come in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can look into that.
Mm.
But yeah, this was a nice test. We will see. We could try again. Let me try to put this up, see what people think, and yeah, and if anything, we could also branch off on either another topic. We could talk about convenience again and different stores
Mm.
around, and maybe get one or two guests in it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't think there was anything groundbreaking. I don't think this topic per se like has anything groundbreaking in it. And I think maybe because we're just desensitized by it a lot. And then
Yeah.
also there's just so much social media with it that people make it out like, oh my God, like there's this tamago sandal and stuff. It's so amazing. And it's like we can't talk about it anymore because everyone knows it's amazing and like it's
Yeah.
what are we gonna do to attest to it? Like everyone already knows. So I think maybe we just gotta like start talking about things little by little and then kind of get where we find like a little bit of a breakthrough of like where we can get excited about stuff. Because I think this is just very like I felt very like educational in this one.
I was
That
trying to
was
be educational.
entertaining.
I just wanted to talk about how much I love Lawson, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Screw you and the education. Lawson is the best.
Nah, it's okay.
Oh my
They don't have
god.
no smoothies.
You know, be smoothies.
Yeah. Once they get smoothies, then let me know.
Oh my god. Alright, cool. I'm gonna stop it right here and we'll try again next time.
Yeah, okay. That's
Alright, let
fun.
me, let me stop there.